What's up people, it's me Wasabi, and today we are checking out the Darmoshark M5 Air, which is a fingertip mouse that got quite a bit of attention late last year. Let's see if it's worth the price. Now a quick unboxing because that's what you pay for too. You get an M5 Air mouse, manual and a velvet pouch, 8K display receiver, additional rubber scroll wheel, USB-C cable, grip tapes, PTFE skates and stickers, and that's pretty much all that's included inside the box. And the M5 Air caught my attention because of the raw carbon fiber composite look. It is very much like my Final Mouse VR X Raw edition, which is a sick look for a mouse. So there are three versions for the M5 model. It's $89 for the most basic option, $99 for the Pro version, and $119 for this M5 Air, which we have here today. Now about the design, it's basically the same as the Darmoshark M5. Same shape, but lighter thanks to the forged carbon fiber honeycomb shell. The design is compact, it's got a short hump, and this obviously supports the fingertip grip style. And another standout design element is the scroll wheel, which uses a CNC machining, which feels a bit more premium than expected. The body of the mouse is surprisingly solid at 31 grams, but buttons wobble more than I'd like, and there is minor switch grind on my unit. The side buttons though, they are tight and clicky, and the scroll wheel is decently fitted in. Then we got the 8K dongle, which is also an informative display, which is convenient, but for mine it came out of the box with scratches and it does look kinda cheap. For coating, there is no real coating here. Best described as a bare carbon experience, and it feels very smooth. You got little grip whether your hands are dry or sweaty. For this one, I would recommend to use grip tapes. Out of the box, 31.9 grams with the pre-installed dot skates. And if you're thinking of using the rubber scroll wheel, that is 1.7 grams, which is still pretty light to be honest. Now before I get into more detail with the shape and how it feels from my experience, to put things into perspective, my hand size is 17.5 by 9. In general, this is obviously a true fingertip first mouse with a prominent back hump. If your hands are small, you could squeeze in an aggressive claw grip and make use of the hump support, but for me at 17.5 by 9, it's fingertip all the way. The sides are mostly flat with a very subtle curve guiding your thumb. You got quite a lot of space to put your thumb under the side buttons. It doesn't feel cramped for a fingertip style mouse like this, which some people would appreciate because you won't be accidentally pressing on the side buttons while gaming. The back hump is raised just enough to let your fingers rest up to your knuckle, so you get a good sense of stability and support across the length of your fingers. And for me, this hump doesn't feel like it interferes with the movement. It makes this a very approachable shape for fingertip users, especially people who are using this grip style for the first time. The Huano transparent blue shell pink dot mechanical switches on this mouse are very light. Maybe the lightest I've used in a mechanical mouse. Quick taps are effortless, but some may need to be careful with the finger pressure, because on this mouse I did click the buttons by accident on quite a few occasions in game. For the side buttons, you get excellent tactility and very unlikely that you will press them by accident. These have almost zero pre-travel and quite a lot of post-travel, which makes them feel rather springy towards the end. And another thing to note is that both buttons are very close together, so just gotta be a little careful with which one you press on. Scroll wheel, the scroll steps are not very distinct. It's a little on the muddy side. As for the scroll clicks, needs a moderate amount of pressure to click down, and with how light the steps are, I do accidentally scroll the wheel at times when trying to click it. Now here's a quick sound test to give you a better idea of how this mouse sounds. So by default, you get dot skates pre-installed. Quality of these skates are pretty good. These are the higher quality ones that more budget brands are picking up, and they offer smooth glides on cloth. Nothing mind-blowing, but for a standard skate, I think it's pretty decent. The thing that stands out though is the base cutouts of this mouse does bring the mouse very close to the surface of my mouse pad. So on soft pads, I do experience scraping the bottom quite a lot. But on a mid to hard pad, I game with this mouse on glass and didn't have a problem at all. So this one has a POR 3950 sensor with a lift-off distance of 1 or 2 millimeters. It has the mode that supports up to 20k FPS, but with that on, I didn't notice a real difference in use. Overall, the sensor has been tracking just fine and hasn't caused me any issues. This one has tri-mode connectivity, so wired up to 1000 Hz polling rate, wireless 2.4 GHz up to 8000 Hz polling rate, and Bluetooth, which is up to 125 Hz. Handy for secondary setups and mobile use. And not forgetting the 8K dongle, which has a display that shows connectivity strength, the polling rate, DPI, and battery life. Not gonna lie, it looks and feels cheap, but it offers a nice bit of convenience. And for the battery life performance, this has a 200 mAh battery, which in this build you can get up to 55 hours running at 1000 Hz polling rate with all the high performance settings and extra features off. And the nice thing to see is that this mouse uses web-based software for configuration. For some reason, it takes a little while to boot up, but aside from the slow startup, when you get onto the page, this is basically where you would adjust the DPI, the polling rate, remap the buttons, set your macros, adjust the lift-off distance. It's really nothing fancy, but it works just fine. For this mouse, how it looks is the main highlight. Also, the M5 shape, not just specifically for this Air version, the shape feels very approachable even if you are new to the fingertip grip style. But I would say that after using this mouse for a while, looking back, the experience is pretty mild for me. Really, nothing much stands out beyond the carbon fiber aesthetic. Nothing gives me a good feeling or, a feeling that at least makes me want to keep gaming. It is perfectly okay to use, of course, but I go as far as to say that my experience using this mouse was kinda bland. Now, final thoughts and what do I think of its value? If you want to try out fingertip only mice, then this shape works pretty well, but I would recommend the regular Darmoshark M5 because that lets you try a mouse like this for less money. It's just the price of this Air version brings it closer to higher end offerings. And aside from the stunning carbon look, it still feels like a budget mouse without the budget advantage. So even with such an interesting material that is known for its strength to weight ratio, this one still comes off heavier than the other offerings that have a regular plastic build. It just feels like the material was used for aesthetic purposes and it wasn't optimized to deliver the full potential of what this material can do. For something this tiny, I'm pretty sure that they could have taken it a little further. Overall, I must say that this one comes off a little rough around the edges in terms of product quality and the experience. Again, this is not a bad mouse and I do hope that Darmoshark keeps refining this model because I think it has good potential to be a solid entry-level fingertip shape offering on the market. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to support my channel. And I guess I'll see you in the next one.